keeping up with or following the lore of my sketchbooks recently, that this sketchbook was once upon a time this sketchbook. If you wanted to know where I got all these stickers, a link will be in the description. Otherwise, I just got them from sticker packs or my friends. A lot of, I don't know, I approached it differently than I normally do. There's a lot more sketches. Wow, what a concept. Sketches in a sketchbook. There's a lot more sketches in here than like finished pieces, which is usually why my sketchbooks take me so long. I know 6 months is half of a year, but it usually takes me like a year to 2 years to finish just one sketchbook. I'm really proud of myself. I think I filled this pretty fast and I just finished it. So it's about time we look in here and see what I drew. The big run event during the summer. So I was gonna draw like this inkling, like looking up at the sky, because that was my first big run and I was like, wow, the sky's crazy. You just have a group of inklings cowering in fear from the big salmon boss. I really like the expressions, and it's not something I normally do, like characters interacting with each other, and I normally don't do these types of poses. So that was kind of fun. Just some doodles I did in class, just stuck them in here. This is when Spider-Verse came out, and I wanted to get better at drawing portraits because I usually just draw in this type of style, if that makes any sense. So I drew this, and then I was like, this is the most disgusting thing on the planet. It's really ugly. I was like, let me redeem myself. I got into studying a bit more, and actually, let me go grab it. Another hobby or obsession, I guess you could say. I don't even know what to call it, but I collect art books. When my grandpa was moving, he gave me this book, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. And inside it's so interesting. Like Stan Lee and his team of artists like go into their way of drawing Marvel characters. Oh, let me find it. Bro, where is this? It was very useful when I was just beginning and I just needed to get the basic shapes down. I think this is the Loomis method of drawing ahead. So, very useful for figuring out how to start. And then of course, I took inspiration from Spider-Verse, duh. Let me just say, stay tuned, because by the end of this sketchbook, dare I say, I think I can draw realistic heads pretty well. I studied a bunch from different tutorials on YouTube because that's a weird stigma I don't really get. Anyway, tangent aside, I drew this upside down, so let me just, there you go. Here's this side from Piaf's Art. I'm so sorry, I don't really know how to pronounce their channel name, but love their work. And Hamrib Art on this side. These are just rough with pen. I wasn't expecting the shapes to be perfect or anything. And I think it's really helpful when you're first starting to just be loose, and if it's bad, whatever, move on to the next one. Like, I'm not really proud of this one, but I learned a lot from the shapes. Really like this one. I feel like he looks like that one guy from Arcane. Yeah. I tried to do one from memory after like applying what I learned from these pages. Oh, where'd it go? These pages? Turned out like Kim Kardashian. Don't know why that was in my brain, but whatever. Here I was going to write my thoughts and reviews on the movie from Spider-Verse, but I never filled it in until like the other day. You can pause and read it if you want, but it's really stupid. I don't even know why I did that. On this side, just a bunch of doodles from school, like school, original character of mine. You can see, I actually drew this before I drew even those, and where is her eye going? It is drifting away. I love adding little papers into my sketchbooks if you can't tell. More head studies over here. And this is when I realized the hard way that you gotta protect your pages. They got kind of destroyed. Then I didn't even finish it because they got destroyed. If you guys have any tips on how to prevent this, let me know. Here is another original character of mine. I draw her whenever I'm in math class and I just need to take a break and like not do my work at all. So what I did is after my junior year, I just like cut them all out and then I put them all in here. And she looked like strawberry shortcake to me, like her design. So I like drew her being like, who the freak are you? And they're like looking at each other. Maybe I'll redesign her for a video or something at some point. Just experimenting. It's always a shame with like markers, how they bleed on to the next page. Same with like this page. So you just have that like awkward page where you don't really know what to put. I just filled it in with highlighter and pen, and over here just highlighter on top of highlighter. And I really like how this looks. Really want to experiment with that more. Down here I was watching LPS Popular. Yeah, I just drew how I think she would look as a human, as opposed to like being a little Pet Shop dog in the show. Not much I have to say about this page. Have a video on it if you want to go check it out. Wrote down a bunch of tropical Nintendo music that I wanted to use for my videos that I really like. Drew a bunch of these background studies. Worked on these two and then I kind of gave up on these two. I finally got my driver's license. Everyone, my family, friends always make fun of me because I didn't get my license. I finally got my license, and I got my license before SpongeBob. So that's kind of an accomplishment. A little sheep drawing I drew for my abuela for her church Sunday school lesson. So I just drew this and took a picture. Some are better than others. Looking at you down here, this one's kind of ugly. Pretty cute spread. I want to do this a lot more. I think it's really fun. Here's kind of a messy page where I experimented with a bunch of supplies. I was going to draw this like wildflower fashion illustration page, but I never got around to it. Practiced a bit more on not realistic portraits, but more realistic than, you know. Decided to draw Hello Kitty as a human with just random supplies I had on hand during school. I love the little puffy stickers that I added too. And I like the eyelashes to like represent her whiskers. I thought that was pretty clever. Okay, this is like one of my favorite pages in here. So if you don't know the YouTuber Arlo, what are you doing with your life? I've been watching him for so long, so I just drew a bunch of references from his videos. If you have no idea who Arlo is, this is probably very strange, but if you know, you know, I'll just say that. This is the back of a math test that I got back. I was listening to Britney Spears' Slave For You. I love that song. And I think in that concert, she like had the snake, so I just drew a girl with the snake. This is a back of the sticker pack that I got, so I just decided to glue it in here. Over here is when I was also trying to get better at painting. There's this study, or I guess like way of painting. When I drew this, I was like,
this is amazing. I'll never draw anything better than this again.
And now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, Ruin DLC came out this day. I ate some Mambas. Y'all are sleeping on Mambas. Mambas over Starburst any day. And I got a little swatch card for this illustration. Also not much to say about this one. I have a video on it where I was way too passionate about talking about tropical things for like 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go check that out. There's probably a little eye somewhere. Here, there. I was really bored one day in school, so I went to the library with my friends and we printed out the lyrics to Rhett and Link's Nerd vs. Geek song, and we memorized it and learned it. That sounds so dumb saying it out loud.
Nerd. Yes, I am a nerd!
Over here, I was trying to study this person's art, Coco Fee art. I really like how she simplifies things. It looks very cartoony, but more realistic portions than what I normally do. Trying to experiment with that. Here I was, actually you can't see underneath that. Me and my sister, we did a Splatoon cosplay for a convention that we went to over the summer. First time I cosplayed, first convention, very fun. It was at this point where I was like, I want to do the 100 head challenge randomly, out of the blue. You'll see real quick how long this challenge lasted, but, you know, put in your guesses right now. How many days do you think I did this challenge for? I think this one's my favorite head. I drew in the entire sketchbook. I don't know, I really like how I drew that one. Over here, D&D characters. Again, I could go into all of that in another video if you guys would want. There's a few more D&D characters in here. Here, just drew some heads from memory. You can kind of see my skill starting to develop a bit more just from like memory. And then over here, I just drew a bunch of expressions. I got those metallic Sharpies. So I just drew a spread with that. A bunch of jewelry. I drew this from memory, but I think it ended up looking like Salem Tovar because I was watching her videos while I was coloring this in. If you look closely, these are like little jewels that I got in the scrapbooking section at Michael's, or you can get them at Hobby Lobby. You can really get them anywhere. This was when school started, so AP Art started. So I was just brainstorming a bunch of ideas down. I'm gonna tell you right now, still have no idea what my sustaining investigation should be, and I've drawn like 5 pieces now. I'm going to make a AP art tour. I'm not finished with my portfolio or anything, but I'm just gonna show what I have so far. Another one of those portraits. I think she has like broccoli hair. I think it's kind of funny. And if you guessed 9, you'd be correct. This is the last one I did, and then I gave up because it was getting really boring. This is when I turned 18. Just your little thing at like 4 a.m. after my birthday party. We'll get more into these in a second. I think it'd make more sense to talk about the next page. This is the first sustained investigation. Basically, my idea is a bunch of old people heads floating on this long, narrow sheet of paper. I was experimenting with the style I wanted to do. I got huge inspiration from Emily Hughes' art, I'm pretty sure. She had this tutorial on how to draw faces with gouache, and I just applied that with acrylic. You know, not exactly the same material, but I've never really painted a realistic face. Realistic, you know what I mean. She was a huge help in figuring out what the heck to do there. Again, I want to show you the finished thing, but I'll save it for the art tour. Yeah, I'll save it for the art tour. But I love this page. I don't even know where to begin expressing this. Littlest Pet Shops are probably, if not my biggest, one of my biggest inspirations for starting YouTube, doing art, yada yada. Really wanted to do something with my Littlest Pet Shops because it fit with my sustained investigation, like childhood, all that crap. So my friend gifted me this super cute sticker. Oh fudge, I forget the name, but it's like Susie's school. So this is, who's Susie? Are you Susie? Who's Susie? I don't know. Oh yeah, it literally says that right there. I was a kid, me and my sister. Tell me if you guys did this, because I feel like if you grew up with Littlest Pet Shops, everybody played school. I'll show you the reference photo I took for the picture so you kind of have an idea. But I wanted to draw my Littlest Pet Shops in this sort of style, so I studied it over here. A lot more inspiration down here. Just little kid outfit ideas, more of the stickers. Her style is so cute. I love the use of line art and like the colors. I also took inspiration from one of my favorite artists. Their name is Alyssa Aaron. It just has a little Littlest Pet Shop packaging on it. More exploration with the characters I wanted to include. Little rough basic idea of what I wanted the classroom layout to be like. All sort of this kind of vibe. Wasn't really sure what I was going to create for my next sustained investigation piece. That's usually how I start. Oh, I like these colors. Let me make something with these colors. What do these colors remind me of? I drew a little bunny. What if I drew a bunch of bunnies in an apartment? I don't really know. I drew this, but it had nothing to do with my sustained investigation, I guess, or the vibe I was trying to have. Maybe I'll make this one day, probably for a video because it's of my OC, Monique. My idea for this piece is, as we get older, the details of our memories get fuzzy over time. Whoa, man, that's crazy. So I decided to make the background out of crochet. Never crocheted before. On this page, just more exploration of that. My homecoming date gave me a little Squishmallow toy, so I just put that tag in here. It was around Halloween, so I just drew a cute little Halloween illustration based off of the Splatoon Splatoween prompts. Very cute. I really like how this page turned out. I had the weirdest interaction with the kid in that class. I drew this head, but it wasn't colored in yet. Or I think it was like something in my notebook, like next to the project that we were doing in class. And he goes,
Can I take a picture of that?
and I was like, that's kind of weird, but sure, I guess. It's just a little stupid doodle, you know? 10 minutes later, he goes,
If you could choose the colors for this piece, what colors would you choose to color it in?
and I was like, I don't know. And then he colored it in on his phone, and then he goes,
I make animations, so would it be okay if I took inspiration from this?
sure, I guess. I don't really care that much. I don't know. That was just probably one of the weirdest art interactions I've ever had in school, literally ever. I really like these. I was gonna go over all of them with pen, but I like it just how it is. I think I just love the shapes and I capture the expressions so well, in my opinion. This is a piece I did a while ago, actually. I TA'd for this one class and I had a bunch of extra paint left over, so I just slapped it all in here. I kind of talk about her more in my last sketchbook tour. Drew my character Dee Dee. Fine. Figure studies from life. This is during play practice. People just like bored on their phones. And yeah, we had to take notes in AP Art on how to steal like an artist. I totally agree with this 100%. If you're wondering why there's like this nasty stains, there was originally flowers that were pressed in here. I opened it and it was like, and they got really moldy and gross, so I took them out. I drew a bunch of fairies. Love this page. I decided to go with Jackie. Not gonna even try to pronounce her last name. I don't want to butcher it. For my next piece, I was so stumped as to what to do. I was doing some color studies, I guess. It wasn't really working out. I was really struggling to figure out what to do because I want to spend a lot of time on this, but I also have school and a life and work and stuff, you know? So it was just really hard to find the time during this period of my life. Moving on. Okay, you probably saw a short. I just posted a short with my finished pieces for these ones. But basically, I finally came up with an idea. And my idea was exploring fashion. Woo! Exploring fashion. I knew I wanted to incorporate 3 distinct styles. And then the idea behind the piece is each girl, it's the same girl in every piece, but in every different piece, she has an item of clothing from the other picture. So it's gonna be a set of 3. I don't know how I'm explaining this to you. It's, you like, look, you know, like just pretty self-explanatory. So over here, just exploring more ideas, what to do. So I went for like a grungy sort of style, cyberpunk, and I don't really know what this one is, but just like an artsy, retro sort of style. Here's this page I used to just like swatch the materials and everything, thumbnail everything, plan it out, exploring ideas for her outfits. Really want to revisit this like lightning bolt hair in another piece, really like that. More ideas. I tried to do this thing where I like cut it up and like had, I don't even know what I was trying to do. I just cut out my sketchbook for like no reason. Over here was Turkey Day. So here's a bunch of notes. I hate that event, by the way. It's so annoying. Oh, something else I should say before we get into this. What added extra salt into the wound here was the fact that they got to eat Thanksgiving and I didn't, because I got my wisdom teeth removed the day before Thanksgiving. So that was just absolutely wonderful. Maybe it's me. Maybe I was doing something wrong. But by the end of it, when Canberra asks for like the 5th carp in a row, I'm just done. I'm done. Sorry, Franklin. You can starve. For our last sustained investigation for term 2, we all pulled the name out of a hat of somebody else in the class, and it's really fun. I haven't seen her since elementary school. We went to different middle schools, and it was really fun, like, catching up with her and just, like, chatting about our childhood. Final piece. I really hope she likes it. Oh yeah, at the end we had to give each other the art piece. And here's my art piece. I literally cried. It's so cute. If you take away my name, I feel like you can kind of tell that this girl had me. She drew me as a Monster High character. Okay, I need to chill. Sorry. More D&D characters. Futbucker, Furby, Apple. Over here, I drew this just randomly in my bed because I was still recovering from my wisdom teeth. I'm really proud of this face. It's so cute. I just kept going and going and going. And even if I was like, oh, that was a mistake, I didn't really like that. I just kept going because it was really fun throughout the entire process. And isn't that what art's about at the end of the day? Just some gouache experimenting for the Christmas portrait. Why? Tell me why this is so smooth. Like, tell me why when I'm just in here doodling, yada yada, doing whatever, it's so smooth and good, but when I try to actually use gouache, it sucks. I have little sketches of my teacher's favorite animals. I have this tradition where I draw them a picture of their favorite animal every year. I realized this is like the 10th year of me doing it, and it's probably the last time I'm ever gonna do this because I'm in my senior years. It's really sentimental to me. Here are the 2 that I finished. Drew a bunch of mice with my sister. I would draw something and then I'd give it to her and then she would color it in, vice versa. Just messing around during play practice. And over here on this page is when I finally came up with my idea for my second passion project. I drew this little thing and I was like, yes, I need to do this. So over here, I explored a bunch of different Muppet designs because that's another thing. I love puppets and Muppets, and puppetry is so amazing to me. Would love to make my own puppet one day. And then here, I photoshopped an image of how I wanted my painting to turn out. Something I used was the grid technique to help me along because I've never done a full-on acrylic painting, let alone a portrait of a human face, let alone that be my face. So it's really intimidating. Over here, I was at work. On the side, just a messy page. I was too lazy to grab a palette, so I just, do you want to see what I did? Here's what I did. I laid this out and then I just like mixed the colors on here and then I painted them. Probably not the best idea, but I was too lazy to go clean my palette. I saw the new Ghibli movie, Boy and the Heron. Gotta draw the Wada Wadas and the heron. Yeah, just go watch that movie, that's all I'm gonna say. This is also probably one of my favorites in here. It's a bunch of random sketches I did during class. Then I drew this illustration with just random art supplies I had on hand. My sister said something along the lines of, she looks like the girl from Sugar Rush if she was like grown up. And then afterwards, my friend, she's so sweet, I love her so much. She got me a little Christmas gift. She knows I have a weird obsession with stickers and I like to put them everywhere. So I took the stickers off and I put it here and then I put these. I don't know. So you know who you are. Love you, girl. Fun fact, I was gonna draw these in a short video, but I don't know where the footage went, so now you're seeing it, I guess. My other friend, different friend, we did Secret Santa and she wrapped my present in this Spider-Man paper, and I don't know what the universe decided because this Christmas I also got Spider-Man 2 for Christmas, so I've been playing that nonstop. Here also wrapping paper really fun way to fill in your sketchbook. I recommend keeping that nice wrapping paper. Quinceañera invitation that I'm not going to show because it has a lot of information that is very personal. And drum roll, my friends, we have made it to the end of this page. Just messed around over here. Bye bye Sketchbook 12. Put some Lisa Frank stickers around it. Pretty interesting. And with that, I started this sketchbook June something, and I finished it December 26th, the day after Christmas. I'm losing my mind. This sketchbook tour is finished. Ooh, should I do this every time, like foreshadowing? Foreshadow sketchbook 13. Pretty little sneak peek. Just a little sneak peek. Ooh. Ooh, okay. We're also really close to 1,000 subscribers. Voiceover Tayani here. By the time I finished editing this video, we hit 1,000 subscribers! So thank you guys for that too. What the crap? I kind of spoiled it, but I'm thinking of doing something pretty fun for my 1,000 subscribers special. So whenever I make my videos, I like to take my sweet time. So if you want to know when they come out, because I'm kind of sporadic with my uploading, hit the bell so you can get notified whenever that video comes up. Have a great 2024. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!